Have you ever found yourself murmuring secrets to your teacup, or donning the same comfy cardigan for days, simply because no one's around to notice? Residing solo in your 60s, 70s, or later can seem like a tranquil liberty. Yet it's also a crafty deceiver, spinning routines that dull your glow. But remember, even in these small acts, there's potential for joy. I lingered in that quiet, pondering when my universe became so tiny. Today, I'm delivering a sincere discussion about the 10 subtle pitfalls of living alone as an elder. Not the evident ones, but the hushed ones that sap your delight. Stay with me until the finish. For these tales and insights will show you that your existence, your dwelling, and your spirit are still teeming with potential, poised to astonish even you. Before we start, I'd be grateful if you enjoyed this video and could help me keep sharing this aging wisdom. If you haven't joined yet, I suggest you subscribe and activate the notifications so you won't miss any content. If you enjoy this video, please write number 1 in the comments. If it's not to your liking, write number 0 to inform me so I can craft a better video for you. Now, let's dive in. 1. Don't let dining turn into a solitary chore. My dear friend Ruth, now 74, once filled her home with the coziness of Sunday feasts that were nothing less than iconic. Her table would nearly buckle under the load of crispy roasted meats, steaming dishes of creamy potatoes, and her renowned apple tart, its spicy scent drifting through the rooms like an embrace. Loved ones gathered, their chuckles blending with the clatter of utensils, as Ruth glowed at the heart of it all. Her soul was as full as the dishes she offered. But after her spouse passed, the warmth in her kitchen faded. The pans stayed unused, the table empty. Why bother for just me? She'd sigh. Her refrigerator, now a grim collection of half-eaten yogurt pots, wilted greens, and bread turned hard. One night, I dropped by and saw her standing by the sink, absently chewing on a handful of dry biscuits, her gaze far off as if the pleasure of eating had vanished with those who once shared it. The sight broke my heart. Meals are far more than nourishment. They're a palette for affection, a love note you pen to yourself. Even if you're eating alone, make it a moment to treasure. Dust off that vintage porcelain plate your aunt gave you years ago. The one with the dainty floral edge you've saved for special times. Please light a candle, even a short one, and let its glow sway across your table. This is your time, your moment of self-care and self-love. Drizzle a touch of sweet honey over your morning porridge and relish it like it's a lavish treat, or better yet, invite a neighbor for a humble bowl of broth. Nothing elaborate, just shared warmth. Cook a bit extra, and slip a morsel to your dog, whose eager gaze reminds you that joy can hide in the tiniest acts. When you treat meals as a ceremony, you're not just feeding your body, you're declaring, with every bite, that you are worth honoring, worth recalling, worth the effort. Don't let your television become your closest companion. I'll admit something. There was a winter not long ago when my TV became the pulse of my home. Its steady drone filled the vacant corners of my silent house, a soothing hum that muted the stillness I wasn't ready to confront. Old mystery shows with their familiar plots and gritty-voiced heroes became my evening friends. I'd sink into the sofa, letting the glowing screen draw me into a world where puzzles always had solutions. But one night, it struck me. I hadn't spoken to another person in days. My TV had become a crutch, a way to dodge the quiet that pressed against my mind. I thought of Clara, an 80-year-old I met at a community hub, who laughed wryly as she said, "My dramas know me better than my children do." Her words were meant as humor, but they held a pang of truth that lingered. The television is alluring in its simplicity, offering endless tales and voices to fill the emptiness. But it's a cunning thief, silently stealing hours that could be spent humming a half-remembered song, turning the pages of a thrilling novel, or dialing an old friend whose chuckle you haven't heard in ages. Make your TV a delight, not a constant housemate. Pick that one show you love, whether it's a clever sitcom or a gripping thriller, and savor it like a rare treat. Then grab the remote and let the screen go black. Embrace the silence that follows. It might feel weighty at first, but in that quiet, You'll rediscover parts of yourself, your thoughts, your dreams, your voice waiting to be heard. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights helpful, please write number 1 below to let me know you're still with me. Thank you for your precious time. 3. Don't let your front door become a stronghold. Down the street lives Mr. Ellis, an 83-year-old whose quaint house is cloaked in ivy, like a scene from a fairy tale. Your home is your sanctuary, your place of joy and comfort. Don't let it become a barrier, but a welcoming gateway to the world. Once, he was a familiar figure in the neighborhood, pruning his roses or chatting with passersby about the sky's mood. But after his sister, his last close ally, passed away, his world shrank to the confines of his home. Groceries arrived at his doorstep in plastic sacks. His mailbox brimmed with unopened notes, and the lively hum of the world outside seemed to whirl on without him. "I'm fine indoors," he'd tell me over the phone, his voice tinged with a hollow ring, as if convincing himself as much as me. His front door, once a friendly gateway, had turned into a barrier, sealing him off from the life he once knew. Then, one brisk morning, something changed. Mr. Ellis eased open his door to grab the newspaper, and a wave of sounds rushed in. A neighbor's dog yapping with boundless glee, a child's giggles echoing from the pavement, the gentle swish of leaves dancing in the wind. He stepped onto his porch for just a moment, his slippers scraping the worn wood. A jogger passed, offering a quick nod, and Mr. Ellis's face brightened as if a long-dormant ember had sparked anew. That small step reminded him of something vital. His front door isn't just wood and hinges, it's a gateway to the world's marvels. Big and small. You don't need to wander far to feel its magic. Open your door, even just a sliver, to let the morning breeze caress your face or to nod at the sky's vast canvas. Wave at a neighbor, listen to the pulse of life beyond your walls. You're still woven into this world's vibrant, messy tapestry. 4. Don't say, "I'm too old for that." Picture Leah, a lively 79-year-old who last year began a bold new quest, learning to play the ukulele. Her hands, marked by nearly 8 decades of wisdom, shook as they stumbled over the strings, producing notes more jarring than melodic. Yet, her face shone with a smile brighter than a summer dawn, undaunted by the clumsy chords. "I've always wanted to try," she said with a defiant glint in her eyes, "and I'm not gone yet." Each practice, filled with off-key notes and laughter, became a testament to her refusal to let age limit her. Her living room, once silent, now buzzes with the tentative strums of her growing skill, a reminder that it's never too late to pursue a dream. Now contrast Leia's vibrant embrace of life with my cousin Tom, who at 70 has sidelined himself. He dismisses hiking as too strenuous, dancing as too awkward, and even trying a new dish as too much hassle. The phrase, "I'm too old," has become his refrain, a self-imposed cage that traps him. It's not age that holds him back. Fear. Fear of looking silly, fear of failing, fear of not being as spry as he once was. But here's the truth. Every stumble is a chapter in your story. Every attempt a mark of bravery. Whether it's planting a garden, joining a book group, learning a language, or tackling a pottery wheel, the only thing stopping you is the belief that you're too old. Age is just a number, not a judgment. Don't let it rob you of the chance to grow, to surprise yourself, to rediscover the spark that makes life vivid. The world awaits your next move, whether it's a quiet victory or a daring leap. 5. Don't let your bedroom become your entire universe. When my children left home, the silence that settled over my house was almost tangible, like a thick mist filling every corner. The once bustling rooms, alive with the clink of plates, the chatter of family meals, and the spontaneous laughter of my kids, grew eerily still. Without fully realizing it, I began retreating to the haven of my bedroom, turning it into a self-contained sanctuary to shield myself from the void. My nightstand became a cluttered library, books and journals piled precariously, their spines worn from late-night reading. A drawer brimmed with crumpled snack wrappers, traces of hasty meals eaten alone. A small electric kettle claimed a permanent spot on a side table, a constant companion as I brewed countless cups of tea to warm my hands and heart. Meanwhile, the rest of my house faded into a forgotten realm, rooms untouched, collecting dust like relics from a life no longer mine. It wasn't until one brisk morning, when I tripped over a teetering stack of journals and stumbled into the hallway, that I realized the truth. I hadn't stepped into my living room in months. My world, once vast and vibrant, had shrunk to the confines of four walls. My bedroom had become my entire cosmos, and with it, my life had dwindled to a shadow of its former richness. I thought of my home as it once was, a lively stage where family tales unfolded, where spills were laughed off, where every corner held a memory of love and connection. Now, it felt like a gallery, preserving artifacts of a past I could no longer reach. Your home is more than a place to rest, it's a living canvas, a tapestry woven with the threads of your experiences, dreams, and fleeting joys. To confine yourself to one room is to let that canvas gather dust, to let the colors of your life fade to gray, break free from the bedroom's pool. Brew your morning tea in the kitchen, where sunlight spills across the counter, and linger at the table, watching the steam curl like a dancer in the golden glow. Curl up with a book in the living room, where the shifting light paints the pages with warmth. Dance in the hallway, even if it's just you swaying to the creak of old floorboards or humming a tune from your youth. Open the windows and let the breeze carry the scent of the outside world into your space. Every corner of your home holds the potential for new memories, moments of quiet joy, bursts of creativity, or simple contentment. Reclaim those spaces, spread out, and let your spirit expand to fill every inch. Your home deserves to be a living reflection of your evolving story, and your soul deserves the freedom to breathe, to wander, to rediscover the beauty in every room. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights helpful, please write number 2 below to let me know you're still with me. Thank you for your precious time. 6. Don't think routines are the foe. My neighbor George, now 85, welcomes each morning with a ritual as steady and soothing as the tides dot in the gentle glow of dawn. He brews a pot of coffee, its rich, earthy scent filling his small kitchen like a warm hug. He settles into his worn armchair, its cushions shaped to his frame, and unfolds the morning paper, savoring the rustle of pages as he scans the news. Then, with a quiet smile, he steps onto his porch to scatter crumbs for the sparrows that gather. Like old friends, their cheerful chirps, a daily melody. It's my rhythm, he told me once, his eyes crinkling with warmth that defied his years. For George, this routine isn't a chain tying him to monotony, it's an anchor grounding him in a world that can sometimes feel chaotic and fleeting. I think too of Helen, a woman I met years ago, who at 78 polished her silverware every Sunday with a quiet, almost sacred care. The task wasn't about shiny utensils, it was about marking time. A ritual that whispered, "You're here, and you'll see another week." For her, the rhythmic motion of cloth against metal was a meditation, a way to connect with the past while rooting herself in the present. Routines, I've learned, are not the enemies of a vibrant life. They are the framework that holds it together. They provide structure when days feel shapeless, offering a foundation for meaning when life feels adrift. They carve out space for joy, for reflection, for the small, seemingly trivial moments that, when woven together, make a day feel full and purposeful. If your routine begins to feel like a trap, don't discard it. Try a new coffee blend. Try a new coffee blend. One with hints of caramel or citrus that awakens your senses and makes each sip a small adventure. Take a different path on your morning stroll, noticing the way light catches the dew on a spiderweb or the unfamiliar blooms in a neighbor's yard. Swap an email for a handwritten note, letting the scratch of a pen on paper reconnect you to the tactile joy of the moment. These small tweaks breathe life into routines, turning them from dull ruts into vibrant rhythms that pulse with possibility. Routines don't dim your days, they create a foundation for joy. A quiet promise that you're still here, ready to embrace the surprises tomorrow might bring. They are the heartbeat of a life well lived, steady, and strong. Guiding you through the chaos with grace. 7. Don't stop seeing your reflection. For years, I shunned mirrors, unwilling to face the lines and creases time had carved across my face. Each glance felt like a confrontation with what I'd lost: youth, energy, the smooth features of the person I once knew. The mirror became an adversary, a reminder of time's relentless march, and so I turned away, letting my reflection fade from my daily life. But then I met Rose, an 82-year-old, with a spirit as bold and unapologetic as the bright red lipstick she applied every morning. "It makes me feel alive," she said, her voice firm with quiet, fierce conviction as she smoothed the color across her lips. For Rose, looking in the mirror wasn't about vanity, it was about defiance, a daily declaration that she was still here, still vibrant, still worthy of her gaze. She taught me that avoiding your reflection doesn't just dim your appearance, it dims your fire, your sense of self. When you stop looking, you start fading, not just in the mirror, but in how you move through the world, in the confidence you carry, in the light you bring to each day. So, embrace the small rituals that honor who you are, that celebrate the person you've become. Wrap yourself in that favorite scarf, the one that feels like a warm embrace, its soft folds a reminder of your resilience. Shave with the care you'd take if preparing to meet an old love, savoring the ritual. The scent of the cream, the glide of the razor, the quiet focus of the moment. Pause at the mirror and meet the eyes of the person who has carried you through every triumph, every heartbreak, every quiet victory. Give them a wink, a nod, a moment of gratitude for the stories they hold, the laughter lines etched from nights spent with friends until dawn, the furrows carved by challenges overcome, the spark in your eyes that still burns bright despite the years. Your reflection isn't just a face, it's a living archive, a map of your journey, each mark a testament to a life fully lived. Honor it. Let it remind you that your story is far from over, that there are still chapters to write, moments to savor, and joys to discover. Your reflection is a call to keep showing up, to keep shining, to keep claiming your place in the world, with courage and grace. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights helpful, please write number 3 below to let me know you're still with me. Thank you for your precious time. 8. Don't become a stranger to your neighbors. For as long as I can recall, Mrs. Carter, a 78-year-old widow, lived in the modest brick house next to ours, her presence marked only by the faint glow of a lamp seeping through her ever-drawn curtains. To those of us on the street, she seemed to embody solitude, a quiet figure who preferred her own company, her life hidden behind those heavy drapes. Respected what we assumed was her wish for seclusion, rarely pausing to think otherwise as we went about our daily tasks, mowing lawns, checking mailboxes, or waving to familiar faces. But one stormy autumn evening, when a fierce windstorm tore through our town, leaving her home dark without power, I found myself standing on her weathered porch, hesitating before knocking. When she opened the door, her frail silhouette framed by the flickering light of a handheld flashlight, her eyes widened not with irritation, but with fragile, almost disbelieving gratitude. "No one's visited in ages," she whispered, her voice a soft tremor carrying the weight of years spent in quiet isolation. That moment still haunts me, a sharp reminder of how easily we can slip into the shadows of our communities. It's easy to convince yourself that staying quiet, keeping to your corner, is an act of kindness, sparing others the burden of your presence. But your neighborhood is more than a grid of houses and neatly trimmed hedges. It's a living, breathing mosaic of stories, experiences, and connections. And you are an irreplaceable part of it. Your wisdom, honed by decades of triumphs and trials, your simple wave to the mail carrier as they trudge through the rain, or your warm nod to the children racing their bikes down the sidewalk. These small acts are the threads that weave you into the fabric of your community. They remind your neighbors, and yourself, that you are not a ghost lingering on the edges, but a vital presence, a keeper of stories, a bearer of warmth. Step onto your porch, offer a hello to the dog walker, and share a memory with a young couple moving in across the street. Your neighborhood craves your voice, your perspective, your spark. You are not invisibly, are a cornerstone in the vibrant tapestry of your street. 9. Don't let memories trap you in the past. When I first stepped into Ellen's home, an 80-year-old woman with a gentle smile, shadowed by sorrow, I felt as though I'd entered a time capsule. Her house was a shrine to her late son, Michael, who had passed a decade earlier. Every surface told us story-framed photographs captured him at every stage, giggling as a toddler with chocolate-smeared cheeks, beaming in his high school graduation cap, serene at his wedding with a rose pinned to his lapel, his childhood toys, well-loved teddy bear, a model train sat untouched on dusty shelves, while his old denim jacket hung on a hook by the front door, its sleeves stiff with time, as if he might walk in and slip it on. Sitting across from me at her kitchen table, Ellen's voice broke as she gestured to the relics around us. "I can't move any of it," she said, tears tracing the deep lines of her face. "It's all I have left of him." But, as we talked, surrounded by these frozen fragments of a life no longer lived, it became clear that preserving every moment wasn't keeping Michael close, it was anchoring Ellen to a past that kept her from living her present. Memories are sacred, a tender bridge to those we've loved and lost, but they should never become chains that bind you to a life that no longer exists. Ellen's journey toward healing was slow and delicate, but with time and quiet courage, she began to loosen her grip not on her love for Michael, but on the need to keep his every possession as a monument to her grief. She chose a handful of cherished keepsakes, a locket with his photo nestled inside, a heartfelt letter he'd written her during college, a small wooden carving he'd made as a boy, and carefully packed away the rest. His old bedroom, once a mausoleum of untouched belongings, was transformed into a cozy reading nook with soft cushions and warm colors, a small bookshelf filled with novels, and a window letting in streams of golden sunlight. The first time she sat there, cradling a mug of chamomile tea, she described it as feeling like she could breathe again, as if her home had been permitted to live alongside her. Memories should be held close, honored in ways that keep them alive without stifling your present. Let your home be a canvas for new moments, new laughter, new conversations, and new light. Your story is not frozen in time, it's still being written, waiting for you to turn the page. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights helpful, please write number 4 below to let me know you're still with me. Thank you for your precious time. 10. Don't believe your journey is over. Society has a way of peddling a subtle but harmful lie that after 60 life is little more than a slow fade, a gentle winding down toward the end of the path. It's a narrative that seeps through the cracks, whispered in the sidelong glances at family gatherings, embedded in the assumption that your best days are behind you. But this couldn't be further from the truth. Consider Henry, an 81-year-old former mechanic whose calloused hands had spent a lifetime coaxing broken engines back to life. After retirement, he stumbled upon a poetry workshop at the local library. He began writing his words, raw and vivid, weaving tales of grease-stained overalls, sunsets over the garage, and the quiet ache of loss. When he read his poems aloud to his daughter, her eyes brimmed with pride, marveling at the beauty her father had carried inside him all along. Or take Maria, 76, who joined a pottery class on a whim and found herself laughing like a child, her hands covered in cool, slick clay as she shaped lopsided bowls that felt like small victories. Growing older isn't about grand, dramatic leaps, it's about the quiet sparks that ignite when you try something new, no matter how small. Learning a new recipe for spiced apple cake, planting a row of tulips that will bloom come spring, or simply offering a warm smile to a stranger at the grocery store. These are the moments that keep your story alive. When you buy into the lie that you're done, you risk extinguishing the dreams that still flicker within you. But you, my friend, are far from finished. You are a wildfire, waiting for the right moment to blaze with new passions, new curiosities, new joys. Your adventure isn't over, it's unfolding with every choice you make to keep chasing those sparks. So, pick up that paintbrush, sign up for that dance class, or share a story with someone new. Your life is still a canvas, and there are countless colors left to add. Well, friends, we've walked through these 10 subtle pitfalls together. From turning meals into moments of delight, to keeping your front door open to the world's wonders. Living alone doesn't mean living less. It's a chance to rediscover your spark, to keep growing, to stay vibrant. I want to hear from you. What's one thing you've learned today that resonated? Maybe it's making your meals a celebration or stepping onto your porch to greet a neighbor. Drop a comment below and share one lesson you're going to weave into your life. Your story might inspire someone else. If you enjoyed this video, please leave your comment below and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Let's keep this conversation alive. You're not alone in this, not as long as we're here talking like old friends.